Thanks for joining us. Welcome. I'm Felicia Valenzuela. Of course, today we are speaking with Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Hugh Todd. Minister Todd, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Felicia, and happy Eid Mubarak.
Thank you, sir. Well, you know, in this program, we're going to be talking about government's 1 year in office. And of course, our first question to you would be, how has the first year in office been?
I think if I had to capture it in one word, I would say exciting. I think it has been an exciting 1 year for Guyana and for the government. We took office with much momentum coming out of the elections campaign. So we knew that we had a solid mandate coming into office. So we were well charged and we were very excited to hit the ground running, which we did. The leadership of His Excellency President Irfaan Ali has been exceptional in directing cabinet members, and we were able to take from his leadership and use his guidance to push the policy direction that he wanted for Guyana, which I think was very good collectively for all of the ministries, which also includes the ministry that I represent.
All right. Notwithstanding that we would have had challenges, and we will come to those a bit later, but what are some of the major projects undertaken by your ministry in this 1 year?
I think for us is the policy direction. I think our policy direction for the international community is clear right now. It has been very blurry during the previous administration, but when we took office, our policy direction was pretty clear. So the international community understood the direction we were going in. So when we spoke about economic development, diversification, expansion within our industries and sectors, it was clear to the people of Guyana, and it was also clear to the people within the international community, because our national policies inform our foreign policies. And I think at every level, the political, economic, and at social development level, I think we were clear in our national policies, and those were even clearer when it got to the international community. So our engagements at the political level, at the economic and social level, at the international level, I think it was good for us because they understood exactly what we wanted for development framework. So all we had to do is find the right instruments in articulating that. And I think the exchanges with our traditional partners and our friends collectively, I think it has done well for us over the last year. There were many initiatives that were stymied because of the political situation during the previous administration. Those we were able to bring back on the table and add to that, because the international community is very happy to see where we are today in terms of our stability and our progress. And given the fact that we are now embarking on massive oil and gas exploration, expansion, and the revenues from that will allow us to be able to really engage even more meaningfully within the international community, because we're doing it at the political level and at the economic level, through trade. So our ministry will be able to facilitate between the ministries here responsible for certain aspects of development and our international friends, donor agencies, etc. So it's been very good for us, and we will continue to work even harder as we go into the second year.
All right, great. Just to say that Minister and I are both vaccinated and we're in a controlled environment, and that's why we're not wearing masks at this time. Of course, you have to remember to mask up and do all the, follow the measures that you need to, of course, when you're in public. Minister, if I could put you on the spot a little bit, I know you, like you mentioned, a lot of initiatives the ministry would have started in this 1 year. What is that one you are most proud of?
There are many. But if I had to single out one, which I would not say it's the most impressive one, but I would speak to our engagements with the United States. The Growth in the Americas initiative, I think that was a fantastic accomplishment, along with the signing of the shipwright agreement, bringing it fully into force. And our engagements at the political level, I think it was very good for us. because it speaks to not just not to our own national reality, but to the reality of the entire region. And when we look at the region itself in terms of peace and stability and democracy, I think we are at a good position to champion for that, because we've recently gone through our experience and we don't want other nations to suffer the same fate. So we are at a good position to really advocate at that level. So our bilaterals with the United States can also extend to our relations within the hemisphere itself. And we're thinking broader than just the bilaterals, but in terms of hemispheric possibilities. But through the United States, which we have to admit is a leader within the hemisphere and by extension the rest of the world, it's a very good partnership that we've been able to nurture, and we will continue to build on that. I think that was a major accomplishment for us.
All right, great. I must say congratulations to you too. I believe that your engagement with the diaspora has been really tremendous. I know that is something else you've been pushing greatly for. As I mentioned, I wanted to ask you about the challenges that you've encountered. And we know that we have had challenges and you've been able to navigate your way through. But could you list for us some of those challenges that you would have experienced?
I think coming into the ministry, I think most of it would have been administrative in terms of procedures, policy direction, process. I think the last administration did not give good guidance, and I don't think that they have had good oversight over the ministry itself. So in terms of the channels that you use, they were a lot blurred, and I think one of the main focus of the first year was working with our directors, PS, to bring the structure in line. Every organization should have a structure that would give predictability to how we operate and act and how we make decisions. I think that is important to create synergy and for us to align ourselves with the policy direction of the president himself, because when he gives the policy direction, we have to use a system to ensure that we can effect that policy direction. So we have to have a system that is geared towards efficiency and effectiveness. So we're working seriously during the year through department meetings, through smaller meetings, to ensure that we have a structure that can keep up with the pace of the president when he makes decisions. Because as you know, he's very proactive, he's very driven, and we have to be able to work and keep up and exceed his expectations in terms of how we implement his policies at the international level. So that is what we had to work with, and we're still working on that administratively in terms of the structure.
All right. In terms of the direction that the government is going, I know that there is the foreign secretary and then there is your office, and I know it was strategic for those posts to be kept. Why, if you can just navigate, show us the difference between the functions of the two offices, and most importantly, why was it not necessary, but basically the importance of keeping the two separate?
Well, for us, I can't speak for the last administration, but
Yeah.
for us, the ministry has grown because of the natural growth within the economy itself. Our role and our scope of the both have been enlarged. And to cater for that, we needed to have another tier. So if you look at what the Foreign Secretary is taking care of, he's dealing with trade, advising me on trade as well as on diaspora, two big components within the ministry itself, which we need that level of political savviness and experience. And Robert comes with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
He served in two ministries. He's been in cabinet for many years. And he's worked in government for many, many years. So he understands government. He understands administration at the public policy level. So he's a good addition to the ministry. So he's able to take care of a lot of the growth and scope that we need more hands on deck to deal with. And as you know, we always believe that we need all hands on deck. We're not going to not have a full complement because we need all of our talent on board. And he has been able to strategically take care of that and giving me advice at those two levels.
All right. Could I ask you what are some of your goals and projections as we go into year 2 of your administration at the helm of government?
Well, we have many initiatives that we're working on. If we look at the international community itself, we engage at the multilateral level. We engage at the regional level and at the bilateral level. And we have to be able to navigate in a smart way within international communities, because there's a lot of things coming at you on a daily basis. As a ministry, we have to filter all of those messages coming to us to determine which would be very beneficial for the people of Guyana. At the same time, depending on which level it's at, for example, if we have an invitation at the bilateral level, we have to see how mutually beneficial it would be for Guyana and the country that is engaging us. So there are many initiatives that we are looking at, that we continue to look at, but we want to ensure that our people benefit from whatever engagements we get involved in. So, for example, at the CARICOM level, we have been aggressively pushing the agri-food agenda, coupled with the transportation, because President Ali recognized that we are at a good point in our development to really push for that agri-food security within CARICOM itself. We have the potential, and once we harmonize with our member states, we can achieve that, and that is what we're working on. We had a policy document that was approved by the heads, and we're pushing aggressively in that direction. That is one, I should say, flagship project within CARICOM that we're focused on. The regional energy security, we focused on that as well. That is in the pipeline. At the multilateral level, we're always focused on human rights and democracy, peace and security. So that is a big focus at the multilateral level. We are also a candidate for the non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council coming up in 2024, 2025. So we've started a very soft campaign, and we're pushing ahead with reciprocals to ensure that we can garner that seat. It's going to be a good showing for us. It's not our first time. I think this will be our third time, once successful. That is one other initiative we have in the pipeline. And well, I know we have time limit, but we have many other initiatives. We're working with the Indian government on various levels of investments here in Guyana. We're expanding our visibility. We're now going to occupy a space in Nairobi, Kenya, with other CARICOM member states to have a presence in East Africa. We want to ensure that we also have a presence in Ghana, maybe at the honorary consul level for now, and we want to also beef up our presence in South Africa. So that is Africa. Then we move to the Middle East. I'm giving you new initiatives.
Yes.
Before the end of the year, we want to ensure that we have the embassy in Qatar as well as the embassy in UAE fully functional, staffed and up and running, and we'll also maintain the embassy in Kuwait. So that's our presence in the Middle East. In Asia itself, we want to ensure that in India and in China, we have an expanded presence to cater for the additional activities that we'll have to engage in. Because once we have a presence in a country, we don't want to just have that presence full stop. We want to have that presence and meaningful engagements, because our representatives will have to engage with representatives in those countries. And we want to have the capacity, that one, and we want to have people who are suitable enough to ensure that they can really advance our foreign policy agenda. So we're working on all fronts. We're not going to leave out South America. I should always remember. We're active in PROSUR with our our observer status in the Mercosur. We're pushing ahead with our engagements and discussions with those countries, as well as our bilaterals with Chile, Argentina, Brazil, which is very important for us in terms of our bilaterals and connectivity, Colombia. So we're looking at the Guyana Shield. We're looking at integration within the continent itself, and we want to ensure that, given our strategic position where we are on the continent, that we are really the gateway between South American continent, Europe, and the rest of the world. And we are not going to sit by and not allow that possibility to come to fruition. So we're working aggressively with our bilaterals, regional partners, to ensure that we can have that level of advancement, not for the PPPC government, but for the people of Guyana.
Okay, Minister Todd, thank you so much for speaking with us. I know you've always been on the button, and so we appreciate you taking some time out to come and speak with us. And of course, we wish you all the best going forward as we see what comes out of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in here too.
Thank you very much.
All right, Minister, thank you so much. Well, that's it. We've just spoken with Minister Todd. He's the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.